Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the early slate, the MLB early slate on DraftKings for Saturday, August the 31st. There is a 5-game early today, and I do plan on playing it, so I did want to make a video for this slate. Later tonight, I will be covering the night slate. I believe it's an 11-game or 10-game night slate. We'll have a video up for that later tonight. But for now, we're going to cover this early slate, start off with pitching, work our way through the pitcher-player pool. I'll be sure to hit on all the options that I like for today. Then we'll talk about 3 specific hitters I really like. We'll talk about some stacks I'll be going to. And then towards the end of the video, we will cover some BVP plays. Before we do get started, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below so that way you don't miss out on any of my new videos. So at the top of the pitcher player pool, Domingo Germán is our most expensive option on DraftKings. He is $10,500 in a matchup against the Athletics. So this is probably not a slate where I'm going to be really paying up for pitching. I don't have a ton of interest in Germán. I don't have a ton of interest in guys like Cole Hamels or Steven Matz or Homer Bailey. Like, they're just all in tough matchups. Hamels has to face the Brewers. Germán has to face the A's. Matz has to face the Phillies. Homer Bailey has to get the Yankees. Jason Vargas is not a guy I want to play against the Mets. I feel like this is definitely a slate where I'm going to be really paying down at pitching. Guys like Michael Wacha, Tyler Mahle, Framber Valdez at 5,500 against the Blue Jays I like a lot. Don't really see myself going to Germán. Just not a great matchup. He's probably going to be the highest scoring pitcher on the slate. He's probably going to score like 22, 23 DK points. But I feel like I can get similar production for way cheaper, and I don't need to pay this hefty price tag for Germán. When he did face the A's earlier this year, he did struggle. Only got 10 DraftKings points, 5 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 8 hits and 5 runs, or 6 runs. Just not the best spot for Germán. A's have a pretty high total, 4.7 implied run total right now. Just don't really need to go to him on this slate. Like I mentioned, I like going cheap. I like some of these guys like 7K and below. Tyler Mahle is expected to start Game 1 of the doubleheader. It is a doubleheader today between the Reds and the Cardinals. I think Sonny Gray is going to start in the night game. So Mahle at 7K I do like here against the Cardinals. It is a pretty favorable matchup in terms of how Tyler Mahle pitches. He's always been someone that's been better against righties and has struggled with lefties. This Cardinals lineup doesn't have a ton of lefties in it. I believe the only lefties are like Fowler, Matt Carpenter, Tommy Edman, maybe Colton Wong. So maybe 3 or 4 lefties. You're going to get a lot of righties in there with Goldschmidt, Molina, Paul DeJong, Marcell Ozuna. I believe the pitcher is right-handed as well. I believe Michael Wacha bats right-handed. So it's a pretty favorable spot for Mahle. He's being called up from AAA to make this start. In AAA, he was okay, it seems like. 4 ERA, 1.32 WHIP. Or that was through the big leagues. He had a 4 ERA, so he wasn't pitching that great this year. He did get called back up from AAA, though. He's just a kind of average pitcher. It's an average matchup on a slate where I don't want to pay up at pitcher, and I'm just kind of looking to go cheap. Mahle does stand out at only 7K. If you want to go up $300 and get into Michael Wacha, I don't mind doing that. Wacha and Mahle project similar for me. $7,300 for Wacha, getting the Reds at home. He's someone you could look to as well. I think if you get, getting 15, 20 DraftKings points out of your SP1 today is probably going to be all you need. I don't see guys like Germán, Hamels going for like 30 plus. Just don't know if they have the upside in their matchups. So I'm going to be going to Mahle as my SP1. And then at SP2, I like Framber Valdez a lot. He's going to be a guy I go to a lot at SP2 for only $5,500. So he did make a start. I believe it was a week ago against the Angels. And he pitched really well. He went 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits, 1 run, got 8 strikeouts, had 26 DraftKings points. He's getting another start here against the Blue Jays. DraftKings did not adjust his price. He's actually cheaper than he was in his last start. He was $6,600. His last start against the Angels had 26 DraftKings points, and then he got his price bumped down to $5,500. So Framber Valdez I like a lot as an SP2 option. If you play him and Mahle together, you can pretty much get in any hitter you want. You have almost 4,700 remaining per your bats. You can stack all the good teams. You can stack the Yankees. You can stack the Astros. That's the way I'm going to be going on the slate, is really paying down at pitching and then getting in those expensive bats. But other pitchers you can maybe consider, really there's not much I like besides like Wacha, Mahle, and Valdez. Like Clay Buchholz I don't want to play against the Astros. Zach Davies, just don't think he has enough upside here against the Cubs. He's very cheap, but I would just rather play Valdez for $300 less. I guess if I had to pay up, I probably would go to Cole Hamels at 9,300. But again, that just doesn't feel like a price tag I want to pay for Hamels on this slate where I want to get in the expensive bats. So let's just go ahead and talk about those bats. Starting off at first base, love paying up at the top here with a guy like Pete Alonso. This is a great spot for Pete Alonso facing Jason Vargas. Vargas really struggles with right-handed hitters that have power, and that's obviously what Pete Alonso is best at. 42 home runs on the year. Just a great power hitter, mashes lefties. Now he gets to face a soft-tossing lefty in Vargas in a pretty good hitter's park as well, playing in Philadelphia. Both teams have a relatively high total, 4.8 for the Phillies, 4.9 for the Mets. I think both teams make sense for stacking on this slate. I do have more interest in the Mets, though. I like a lot of the Mets righties. Pete Alonso, obviously, I like. If you want to go to a guy like Todd Frazier, you can go to someone like Wilson Ramos at catcher. Ahmed Rosario, a pretty good shortstop option. But Alonso, whether I'm stacking the Mets or I'm just looking for a one-off, he's going to be someone I key in on a lot today. Honestly, think he's one of the guys that's most likely to hit a home run on this slate. If I had to pick anybody to hit a home run, it'd probably be Pete Alonso against Vargas. But now going over to the outfield, I do like going to the Yankees as well. Aaron Judge is one of the top outfield plays in my opinion. 4,900 against Homer Bailey. So Homer Bailey really hasn't been that bad this year, but when you get him in a hitter's park against a pretty good hitting team, he can definitely be attacked, and this is obviously a spot where we want to attack Bailey, having to face the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. Bailey did get to face the Yankees a couple starts ago in Oakland and was actually really good with 5 2/3 innings, only allowed 7 hits, 1 run, got 26 DraftKings points, got 8 strikeouts, but this is just not the same matchup. Now you're having to go to New York to face them in a hitter's park. Anytime I get Bailey outside of Oakland, I think he can definitely be attacked. Like we saw him struggle against the Cubs. He had 2 pretty easy matchups against the Royals and the Giants, so I'm not really counting those, but he struggled against the Cubs. He kind of struggled against the Brewers a bit. He got crushed by the Astros. I expect Bailey's going to struggle here. Right now, the Yankees are right up there with the Astros in terms of highest total on the slate. Yankees have a 5.9 total. Astros have a 6. Love these Yankees bats. Love Aaron Judge at 4,900. Also, I think Gleyber Torres is a top play at second base. If you're not going up to either Altuve or LeMahieu, Torres is a great option at 4,600. I like him a lot as well. We know how much power Torres has. He is a bit better versus lefties, but still a guy with a ton of power versus right-handed pitchers as well. Didi, I think, is a great play at shortstop. Gary Sanchez is a top catcher option. The Yankees do have Luke Voit now. He's back and healthy, so if you're not playing Pete Alonso, you can look to play Luke Voit. You can play LeMahieu at third base and still get Torres in there. It's just a really nice stack. I love the Yankees, one of my favorite stacks on the slate. But anyways, guys, these are my 5 plays for this 5-game early slate. Let's go ahead and look at some stacks now, then we'll talk about some BVP before we end the video. So obviously, like I said, my favorite stack on the slate is the Yankees. Love them here versus Homer Bailey in Yankee Stadium. Pretty good hitting weather, 80 degrees, 42% humidity. Going to be loading up on Yankees bats. Astros make a lot of sense as well against Clay Buchholz. You can definitely look there. And then this Mets-Phillies game I think is very appealing for hitters. I do side with the Mets. I like a lot of the Mets righties versus Jason Vargas. But if you do want to play some Phillies bats, some righties versus Steven Matz, guys like Hoskins, Real Muto, Segura, Kingery, I think they make some sense as well. You definitely want to target guys with speed against Steven Matz. He's always struggled with stolen bases. That's always been something he struggled with. So Kingery, he'll steal. Segura will run. I think Bryce Harper will run a bit as well. Those are guys you could target just as a part of your stack. But I think that is it for stacks. Let's go ahead and look at some BVP now before we end the video. So actually quite a bit of BVP plays for this early slate, covering the ones that really stand out. Cameron Maybin's gone 6 for 14 with the home run off Homer Bailey. Joey Votto, 14 for 41 with the home run off Michael Wacha. Suarez, 9 for 21 with the home run off of Wacha. Chris Bryant, 16 for 47 with 2 home runs off Zach Davies. Kyle Schwarber doesn't have a great average off Zach Davies, just 5 for 26, but 4 of his 5 hits were home runs. Hernan Perez, not sure if he'll be in the lineup, but he's gone 8 for 16 with the home run off Cole Hamels. And Ryan Braun, 13 for 45 with 3 home runs off Cole Hamels. And then lastly, down here at the bottom, a couple of these Phillies bats have hit Matz well. Rhys Hoskins, not a great average, just 3 for 17, but all 3 of his hits off of Matz were home runs. And then Scott Kingery, really good BVP off of Matz, 5 for 11 with 2 home runs. So that's it for BVP for the early slate, guys. And I think that is it for this video. Hopefully you did enjoy this video, and hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like down below. I would really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And like I said at the beginning, I will be uploading a video later tonight for the main slate. This will not be my only video today. I will have another one up later tonight covering the night slate. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.